Are Pokemon cards evil? Innately, no. I wouldn't say they are evil. There's definitely some evil doers in the hobby, such as like scalpers and vendors that sell for 3 times their 3 times market price. But other than those, Pokemon isn't really that evil. Back in the 2000s, a couple pastors decided to talk about Pokemon and explain to their audience how evil it is. Today we have one of those videos, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Because it's important for the church to deal with issues as they come to the forefront in society. I said, son, what is that one morning? He said, that's Pokemon. Son, I found out that Pokemon means pocket monster. Pokemon, plural, are incredible creatures that share the world with humans. Each has his own fighting abilities. Some grow and evolve into even more powerful creatures. The children are developing relationships with all these Pokemon creatures, little reclusive, power-filled monsters. But why should they carry these monsters in their pocket? They say the Pokemon whole effort is to train children how to become the #1 Pokemon master in the world. You follow it through the New Age teaching, you find out that masters are those who take control of spirits in the dark realm, and they tell those spirits what to do. The child at some point becomes capable of taking these powers and channeling them through their mind, through their arms, or through their power sources. Their power sources, of course, are many of the symbols that they pick up from the Pokemon paraphernalia. So Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells, how to use psychic phenomena, how to put to work supernatural powers against their enemies, how to fantasy role play. Pokemon world is a world of the demonic.
So apparently Pokemon is witchcraft. I didn't know this. I wasn't told this. Before getting into the hobby, I didn't know this. It's just so goofy. I like how he compares catching Pokemon to capturing dark spirits in the dark realm. Like what are you talking about? Like, what is this dark realm you speak of? So what this guy is basically saying is, because you pick up Pokemon and you get these different symbols of destruction, that it's witchcraft. Like, what line of thinking is that? How stoned, how off your rocker do you have to be to think that way? I want a full brain scan of this guy. I want a full MRI of this guy, because I am concerned.
But while you might not take it quite seriously, I assure you that demons take it quite seriously. Satan takes it quite seriously. Your children need to know there's a devil, and he hates them, and he wants to ruin their life.
Jigglypuff getting flashed on the screen like that was probably the funniest thing ever. Like, he's talking about the devil and how Pokemon are worshipping the devil or whatever, and Jigglypuff just flashes on the screen. I just find that really funny. He was talking about taking it seriously, taking the Pokemon thing seriously, and then he flashes Jigglypuff on the screen. Like, dude, like, how can anyone take you seriously when Jigglypuff's on the screen? Come on.
There was even a couple of reports where children had been stabbed by other children over Pokemon cards. Do you remember the Dungeons and Dragons game of the 80s where children, young people even ended up killing themselves because it was a role-playing game? Our kids are going out in gangs on the streets, and they're so used to killing each other in their fantasy games and on their video screens and blowing each other away and blowing each other up, that when they walk out the streets and they pull out their .45 and they pump some friend full of bullets, they kind of think in the back of their mind, well, they're just we'll turn off the machine and they'll get up and they'll be there tomorrow and I'll shoot them again. It's just a game.
What? Was this how a lot of people were thinking back in the 2000s? Because this is wild. I don't think anyone was like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot my friend in real life and he's gonna get up after it, because in my video game he did. And I think even if you are stupid, you're smart enough to know that if you die IRL, you're not getting back up.
It's just a game. To which I respond, Russian roulette is just a game. But they're so into this make-believe world that they can't distinguish between fantasy and real. Listen, I can't stress this enough. How that everything in life is real. Everything. I assure you, what your children watch, what you watch, affects you radically. There are people here today, they can't get saved. Some of you can't go to heaven. Why? 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 What you do with your brain.
That's where that meme comes from? It comes from this?
Do with your brain has a direct correlation to where you're going to spend eternity. You know, the media in this country, whether it's, listen, rock music, whether it's the perverted primetime programming and cable programming and the movie industry, whatever, and now the internet.
It's just interesting to see what people were saying back in the 2000s. This guy was saying now the internet, just like the internet was just a new thing. That's weird. It's weird to think about. I've lived my whole life with the internet, so I can't relate. Out of every game to compare to Russian roulette, he compares Pokemon to Russian roulette. Like, Pokemon is not of the devil, if anyone was wondering, if anyone was still questioning. I can be the pastor for you. Pokemon is not the devil. I want to say it's completely alright to play Pokemon. Maybe I'll start performing witchcraft now. Maybe I'll just become a witch. Maybe I'll pull a Randy Marsh back in season 18, episode 3 of South Park. Yeah, this pastor's off his rocker. I wonder where he is now. He's probably playing Fire Red on his Game Boy. Nah, he's not playing Fire Red on his Game Boy. He's probably reading the Bible in some old person's home. Anyways, lads, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all later. Have a good day, lads.